So what are we going to do now? We will have a look at our final 8 pitches.
We have 8.
I can see, please, go ahead.
We have 8 teams sweating backstage already. Super, super duper excited to show you their best pitch tonight.
And before we do that, I can see, or you might have seen all these gadgets you have there. Can you show us the gadgets you have? Hold them up. Make some noise, pioneers!
Woo! Woo!
That's right, because remember, the startups need you. Support them.
Okay, so, seems they're awake.
Yes, that's good, pioneers. Okay, so before we get into it, I believe we have a little video prepared to see what our startups have gone through, how they prepared for this very moment.
Over the past few months, the economy has experienced some tough headwinds.
We saw the numbers out of Spain yesterday, about 5 million people unemployed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We all know that we're living in challenging times. We believe that technological innovations are key to solving mankind's problems. Out of 850 startups from around the world, we chose you because we believe in your creative solutions. Over the next few days, you will be pushed to your limits, both mentally and physically. Welcome to the Pioneers Boot Camp. Putting the cloud into a box. From Hamburg, in Germany, Philipp Baumgärtel.
We will give the power of the cloud back to the people.
A wristband that measures human data in real time. From Milan, Italy, Ivan Tensi.
With human data in real time, we can help people live better.
Making the transport industry more efficient. From Sofia in Bulgaria, Asparu Koel.
Green logistics plays a major part in the fight against climate change.
Building a new computer for kids, and for the kid in all of us. From the United Kingdom, Alejandro Simon.
Our mission is to save the world from technology consumerism and inspire creativity.
A robot that cleans solar panels. In Berlin, Germany, Rita Asais.
We secure efficiency of renewable energy sources.
Enabling a mother to monitor her own pregnancy. From Zagreb in Croatia, Ashka Zherzhev.
Our solution is making pregnancy an even more pleasant and stress-free experience.
Making aeroplanes more efficient. From Berkeley, United States of America, Achille Goel.
We are saving the environment by making aircraft more efficient.
And last but not least, a search engine for doctors from Salzburg in Austria, Yamanateki.
Each year, we can save 1.5 million lives with the right diagnosis.
Pioneers, you have proved your mental and physical strength. Go out and use your power wisely. Pioneers, you are ready.
Go Pioneers! So,
somebody said yesterday those were some solid teams, and we also have some rock-solid judges.
That's right. So, first off, we need the judges on stage. So,
could we please have Luc Julien from Samsung, Ben Einstein from Bolt, Michael Seibel from Y Combinator, Tal Morgenstein from Sequoia Capital, and Under K from Robot Launchpad.
Come on, pioneers!
Big hand to the judges.
So,
they're ready to be mean.
Yes. So what are the rules? The rules, you know the rules, I believe. The rules are simple. Our startups get 3 minutes here. Exactly 3 minutes. We will cut them off on the very second. And after that, 5 minutes Q&A. And we'll see. Will we kick off? Yes. Our first startup from Italy. Matteo Lai and Empatica. Welcome on stage, Matteo. Make some noise for Matteo. Woo! Time up.
We're going to do a test.
Hang on, hang on. We still need a clicker. We will get that. Good that you mentioned it. We talked about it early on.
I was about to click.
We've got time, don't worry. Right?
That's why he left it backstage.
Very cool.
There you go.
Everybody.
Are you good to go?
Clever guy.
Stage
no
is yours,
bonus
mate.
points.
Go
then.
for it.
Thanks. Hi. One of the biggest problems in healthcare today is that we don't know anything about human behavior in daily life. This guy here is suffering from an anxiety disorder, and the options he got is go to a hospital, see a specialist, see a psychologist or a psychiatrist. But when he gets back home, we don't know anything about how he's doing and what he's doing in his daily life. Our company, Empatica, is helping to solve this problem. We do the smallest wearable monitoring device, this one of the judges is wearing as well. And we track physiological signals, we send them to the smartphone, and we then share the data, analyze them to estimate people's emotional response in daily life. With these devices, we enable new research in all sorts of daily activities in a way that wasn't possible before. So whatever people are doing in their daily life, we now know something better about human behavior. This is critical for our clients, which are hospitals, research centers, universities all around the world that are working on to solve some of the most pressing diseases that we have today. They work on diabetes, hypertension, epilepsy, autism, depression, child obesity, and a lot of other stuff. If it wasn't clear, this is our team. It's a very passionate team. We're based in Milan, Italy, and San Francisco, and we specialize in affective computing, which is the science correlating body signals to emotional states. And we also sell these devices. This is the first batch of our new model. We started in August, and we're selling pretty few of them. And the average price is $10.99. We're working to lower production costs and have a bigger volume next year. By the way, we did all of this ourselves. We did the hardware design, the sensor testing, the filtering, the software, and the signal processing, and the graphics too. So today, we are in stage one. We're helping universities and hospitals to understand more about human behavior. Where we're going next is to help people fight one of the worst killers in modern workplace, which is stress. This is a new product. It's a monitoring platform for corporate wellness programs. It's a tool for psychologists to help employees in the workplace live better lives when they have problems. And that's a big problem. And the principle is the same I said at the beginning. People are suffering, and we don't have enough data. And we think with human data in real time that we can really help them. Thanks.
To you, judges. You've got 5 minutes. Go for it.
We're going to track your engagement, so we're going to know if you like it or not.
So what are the original sensors that you have in the band?
We have a photoplethysmographer, and it's very accurate, so we can track heart rate and heart rate variability. We have galvanic skin response, which is the skin conductivity. We have temperature, and so we track body temperature, skin temperature and ambient temperature, and accelerometers as well.
There are quite a few competitors in this space. What sets you apart from Nike, Fuel Band, and the others?
That's a great question. Actually, you see I'm wearing some of the stuff, like the activity trackers. These are consumer products. We don't do consumer products. We do medical devices. So our idea is that, well, it's not our idea. I mean, it's if you need a certain level of sophistication, and if you need to do clinical trials that are going to be published, you need sound data. And so that's very different. You have some trade-offs in terms of the, I don't know, battery consumption or some of the features, but this is not, and the price as well is much different. So it's like another, it's a different play.
So if your market is limited to universities, hospitals, and so forth, how would you quantify it? What size market are we talking about here?
It's actually hard to know. We have some numbers. The problem is that some people were not doing the research before because the ideas that they had in mind couldn't be played. Because before this, you just have like hospital equipment. So some of the stuff that you can just do it in the hospital. So if you want to see the reaction of patients in a certain daily activity, you just cannot. I mean, you can fake it with people in the lab, but it's not the same. So what's happening actually, then this is empowering new research ideas. And people that weren't doing research before are now doing new research. And that's the same for the companies. I mean, we are more medical, but companies in the entertainment industry and consumer companies or people that are interested in audience engagement and consumer behavior, they now can do much better studies and understand the reaction to some of the products. So it's kind of a growing market, I would say.
So you have a very high price point, right? So this is it's like €1,000, right?
As long as people pay.
Have you been able to validate if that's actually something that people are willing to pay?
Oh, no, they paid already.
They pay.
That's actually
okay,
in the invoice.
What's your bill of materials cost for actually producing the product?
I'd rather not say that.
Rather not say.
Because then if people look at the video and say, oh, you could give me a better discount. And, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It's less than the
I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay.
All right.
You'll be surprised.
And how many existing customers do you guys have signed up right now?
I think they're around... I'm not sure, because we sold like 10 yesterday again, so it's like 25 maybe. So, but you have to consider that some people buy from a couple to 200. So the biggest order that we've delivered is 200. And
then can you break down who's buying them so far?
They're, I would say, mostly universities and research centers, because they have a faster decision process. Hospitals have a longer sales cycle. So there's just low.
What type of researchers in these universities are buying them? Who are your early adopters? Is
like
my question.
They're doing infant care between the mother and the child in Japan to diabetes or estimating calorie consumption from new sensors in a nutrition project on child obesity. They do hypertension.
So if there's so many people who could potentially use your product and so many people who could potentially use it in their work today and so many projects that could be started with this, how do you focus your marketing efforts? How do you know who to go after first?
We're a small company, so we don't have like a marketing budget of millions of dollars. And we
I don't mean your advertising, I just mean who do you reach out to first?
Universities and hospitals.
Who in the university? Like which departments, what type of research is...
Like we started with the people that are doing this research will benefit from. So people trying to do stuff in the wild, so in real life, not in the hospital. And we scanned all of them. We read the papers. We know many of them already. And we have a research background ourselves. So we actually started doing the device because we had the same problem. We wanted to do research in the field, and it wasn't possible because you had like people wearing wired stuff, and the people would freak out and get stressed. So your experimental setting would be like destroyed instantly. So I mean, they have our same problem. So they say, oh, that's so cool. Let's see.
Are you only selling a piece of hardware, or you also have a software service built on top of it?
No, we sell the device. We have the mobile software, the APIs, the cloud data, and we have APIs for the cloud service as well. And so we have all the data anonymized completely.
Thank you very much.
Give a round of applause for them.
Empatica. Well done.
Thank you very much, pioneers. So,
next up, we have somebody from across the Atlantic, from USA Berkeley. We have up on the deck, VIRES, with Harshil Goel from the USA. Give a big round of applause to VIRES.
Make some noise, pioneers! Woo!
3 minutes.
The timer. Once you're ready to go, let's go. You good?
Yep.
Stage is yours.
Hello, my name is Harshil Goel, and I'm the CEO of VIRES Aeronautics. And I'm going to take a quick few minutes to show you exactly what we do. So currently, there are a myriad of problems in aircraft, ranging from takeoff capacity, payload capacity, maneuverability, range, and fuel consumption. Imagine a technology that could solve all these problems and more. Imagine taking an aircraft and adding the VIRES Aeronautics control surface. So before we get into this, let me give you a quick analogy. Wingtip vortices are currently a major problem in all aircraft. These are vortices that are generated at the tips of the wings. In order to solve this, Boeing added these little flares at the edge of the wing. These flares ended up reducing drag by about 6%. Now, this doesn't seem like a big number, but that translates to over $200 million in savings per year per airline. Now, imagine 40% reduction in drag. So how does this exactly work? When air traditionally flows over a wing, it tends to slow down and separate. This causes a lot of vortices, turbulence, and it negatively impacts the plane. Now, imagine a belt rolling over the entirety of the wing. This process and phenomenon effectively keeps the air stuck to the wing and prevents all these bubbles and vortices from forming, thus increasing the lift. So our first preliminary tests occurred at the National Wind Tunnel facility in India. And as you can see here, the flow completely changed. In these results, we embedded small cylinders and achieved an over a 40% increase in lift, a 20% decrease in drag, and a 2 to 5 degrees delay in stall. But we didn't stop there. We took that much further. We decided to emulate an infinite number of cylinders around the wing, effectively a belt. With this, in dynamic testing and simulations, we've achieved over 100% increase in lift, a 40% decrease in drag, and a 3 to 7 degrees delay in stall. So how does this work? We first talk and work with military and civilian entities and retrofit their planes, showing them what new capabilities are possible. This creates a demand on the consumer side. We then use that leverage to go and talk to the OEMs, the guys who supply these planes and parts and components to these guys. We then supply these components to the OEM directly, who then integrate it into their own systems and then add it to these new planes that the customers have. We have a team all from UC Berkeley. We have mathematicians, mechanical engineers, physicists, business guys, and electrical engineers, and we're very proud of that. The current market is relatively small, a couple $2 billion, and that is actually set to explode in 2015 due to new regulatory reform in the United States. We've currently finished our first round of funding, closing at $1 million, led by Tim Draper and Lemnos Labs. And I'd like to thank you.
Everybody's finishing on time. We don't even have to scream at them. Judges.
Judges, it's yours.
What's your IP position?
We currently have multiple provisional patents, and we have already filed the non-provisional patents in the US. We're also currently filing in Europe.
How many? 1, 2?
We have one all-inclusive patent for all entities, whether it be land, air, or sea, with multiple claims.
So I didn't get too much about the team. Can you tell me a little bit more about, have you done any work in industry before? It's an incredibly complicated and competitive field, as I know.
Sure. So I myself am an aerodynamicist. I originally came up with this playing around in a wind tunnel. My other co-founder, Jordan Green, he is the business side of everything. He has a lot of experience in investment banking, business development. Our third engineer, Zach Hargreaves, he is by far one of the most interesting people ever. His resume ranges from working at NASA on the Mars rover, on jets, on writing the entire control systems. He also embeds chips in African beetles and literally can directly control them. So he is the entire controls guy, handles all the electronics.
Have any of you guys ever sold a product or a service into a company like Boeing or one of the aeronautical guys?
So Boeing's a little bit down the road. That's a very large plane, and now that civilians are involved.
So your first customer, whatever that may be, have you guys ever worked with a company like that before?
Yes, yes. So we currently are dealing in small unmanned aerial vehicles. We have a few partners lined up who we're basically aggregating hundreds of flight hours with, and that's going to basically lead to a letter of intent within the next year.
How much money do you need to raise over the life of your company? I mean, this is a pretty ambitious project. Talk to me about what you guys need in terms of resources.
So that really depends on how much imagination our team of engineers really has. I mean, quite frankly, we've come quite a long way on a very minimal budget, on a college student budget, and we were able to make 15 prototypes. With this new round of funding, we're hoping to take that and scale it up to hopefully the size of something like a Boeing 747 and even possibly even expand to other fields. I mean, we're going to take this as far as we possibly can.
Are you going to build the hardware and the retrofitting kits yourselves, or do you see this as an IP company?
So for the small assets, the small unmanned aerial vehicles that we're working with that are ranging from 6 feet in wingspan to about 15 feet in wingspan, we are planning on setting up a manufacturing facility because the number of orders are so small and it's so small and easy to deal with. Obviously, when we're going to something like Boeing or Airbus, that would be more of a licensing deal. We are not currently planning on manufacturing at that scale.
How long do you see your this research and development stage where you're doing the manufacturing yourself? How long do you see this lasting before you leverage into the very large orders?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
What's your time frame?
Our time frame? Well, no one on our team actually sleeps, so it's been actually pretty accelerated. The entire development process so far, all the wind tunnel testing, I mean, I'd never even operated a wind tunnel or even understood aerodynamics less than 2 years ago. And that entire process was developed in about 2 months. We went through 15 prototypes within the next year. So I mean, it's basically, I'm saying we're going to take a break within the next couple of months, but I mean, I'm hoping that we're going to get to something on the level of like a tier 2 UAV, something on the order of 30 feet, a wingspan within the next year, and then hopefully scale up within the next 1 or 2 years to large aircraft.
Is there like a framework or a model, another company that has done something similar that you can kind of talk to us about their trajectory? Did someone revolutionize the winglets or some other part of a plane that increased efficiency?
Sure. So the field that we operate in is actually called boundary layer control. The only other real technology that does that is through blowing and sucking air through the wing. The main competitor in that space is Boeing, because they're the one who invented it. Quite frankly, that technology is great, it works, but is incredibly inefficient and very complicated to build.
I'm not talking about competitors. I'm talking about another startup that's actually built a technology that has gained massive traction within the aerospace industry.
Sure. So one startup that has done that is actually Airware. Airware is a small embedded systems company that has actually just finished their Series A round. They are actually set to manufacture and build all the embedded systems for all unmanned aerial vehicles within the near future. So we've actually been partnering with them. They're actually one of our partners, and I mean...
They're a YC company, right?
Huh?
They're a YC company.
I'm sorry, I can't...
They're a Y Combinator company, right?
Yes.
But I'm talking about a company that's like in Boeing airplanes right now. Is there anyone who's kind of walked the same path you have to?
Not to my current knowledge. The aircraft industry is very difficult, and it's very rare for anyone to actually come out outside of it.
Time's up. And our time is up.
Give a round of applause.
Give it a big round of applause.
Thank you.
I gave
Who we have next is from the United Kingdom, from London to be specific, Alejandro Simon with Kano. Come on stage, mate.
Pioneers! We owned it?
The judges need that, because judges can be awesome too. Show us how awesome you are. Make some noise for him! Woo! Okay, mate. Are you good? You've got your timer down there?
Yep.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Stage is yours. Take it away.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro. 6 months ago, I was working for PlayStation 4 when Jonathan and Alex, Kano co-founders, contacted me. I instantly fell in love with their dream. Create the first computer anyone can make. We started with a very simple question. How do you make a computer? We believe technology nowadays is all about consuming. You download apps, you play games, but there is little space for creation. There are rare examples, like Kelvin in Sierra Leone. It's a really cool story. So our approach, simple, fun, and for everyone. We want to be the Lego of the 21st century. So with this idea in mind, we put a Kano prototype. 200 units, sold out in 2 months, with no marketing at all. It comes with a computer, the Raspberry Pi, and a case. Also a keyboard and cables. Everything you need to get you started. It comes with a book, really, really nice book, and of course, an SD card with our own operating system and our own projects. You can code Snake, Punk, mod Minecraft, create electronic music. So, Kano is not just a kit. It's a whole platform. It's an ecosystem. We want to create a community of makers that then share their creations with the world. We have tested this in schools across the UK. The feedback, amazing. Kids love it, teachers even more. A 7-year-old kid goes from that box to create the Pong game in 1 hour, every single kid. The feeling they get is amazing. So, with all the feedback, with the sold out, we then worked in the new version. We are designing our own keyboard, case, packaging, books, cables, everything. All will be revealed in Kickstarter in the next few weeks. The team, we were 3 of us on August. Now we are 13, 8 different nationalities. We are not here to raise money. We are VC founded by Index Ventures. We have also an amazing advisory board. But we would love to win this competition. We want to tour the world and share our dream. Thank you, pioneers.
So I love boxes of things, so you did a really good job handing this to me. You don't manufacture any of this stuff, right? Or maybe the case? This guy?
No, that's the prototype.
Okay.
We will now manufacture absolutely everything except for the Raspberry Pi.
You will manufacture?
Yes.
Okay.
For Kickstarter, you will be able to see it in the next few weeks.
Okay, great.
Can show you later one-to-one if you want.
What's your shelf price for something like this?
It's $99.
Okay.
We said that from the beginning. We have keep that price.
Okay. That's hard. There's not a lot of margin in there.
It's hard, but it was our dream. Okay. It has to be for everyone.
Okay.
What's the OS? You said own OS. What does that mean?
Sorry?
Your own OS, you said. So what is the OS? The OS.
Ah, the OS, sorry. It's a Linux distribution. It's Raspbian, which is the Debian for Raspberry Pi. It's actually what I do. So it's all open source, everything. All the software is free. Anyone can download it.
So I like many things about the project from an educational perspective and fun and so forth. Can you talk a little bit about how you plan on scaling this into a meaningful money-making company?
Absolutely. So we are in talks with a lot of schools. They are very interested on this. Also, we want to target private customers as well, through all around the world. This is the core kit. Now our business plan is to do extension kits. We want to combine hardware and software, both. We believe that it has to be something tangible that you can actually work with. Because you need to get the feeling always of creation.
Do you think you're going to generate more money from schools or more money from private customers?
to be honest, personally, I will hope it will be more private customers, because then it will mean that we are creating that community we all dream of. Of course, schools are interested and are important for us, but for me, I would love to see a parent and a kid both sitting down together with the Kano kid and creating Pong together and both learning at the same time. That, for me, will be the best.
What do you think are your primary competitors? Because there are many.
That's a tough question. I would love to say it's Lego itself. I would love to say that, you know? We have Lego as competitor. Yeah. I grew with Lego, and I would love to become, you know, that next company.
But there are more modern equivalents, like Ayabidir has this company called Little Bits, which is pretty awesome. There's a dozen of them that are all doing sort of electronic projects for kids.
Yeah.
And I think you sort of fit more into that space than into Lego. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure. Right. So, if it took you just 3 minutes to persuade the judges, then that was pretty good. So, make a round of noise for him.
Thank you.
I'll see. He has time to shake the hands of the judges now that he left some time. Should we try this one more time?
Yeah.
Now that they survived the scare already.
You already had a dry run at that, so it's yours.
Yes. So, all the way from Sofia, Bulgaria, could we please have Asparuh Koev with Transmetrics on board? Now you got it.
Don't bribe the judges. Don't bribe the judges. Here you go. Okay, there is your timer.
Okay.
Are you good to go?
Yes.
Stage is yours.
Welcome. Transmetrics brings big data to cargo transport to improve capacity utilization. The global cargo transport industry is 2 trillion euros, and half of that amount is spent transporting empty space with nothing inside. In addition to the staggering economic cost, this also produces carbon emissions, burns valuable fossil fuels, and creates traffic jams. Most of the empty space is there because shipping patterns fluctuate from day to day. One day there is a lot to ship, the next day very little. Transport companies are unable to predict fluctuations, and that's why they end up half empty. However, we know that fluctuations are not random. They depend on a number of factors, such as weather, economic forecasts, and so on. And if these factors are known, future volumes become predictable. We know this because a transport company that we worked with has managed to predict 80% of future volumes by just using 2 factors. That's why we are planning to use hundreds of factors and push this prediction into the high 90s. The way we are doing it is by building a cloud software as a service product where transport companies can load their shipping history correlated with external factors in order to produce a forecast of empty space in the next 6 weeks so they can eliminate empty space before it happens. Our competition is supply chain optimization solutions which work poorly for transport, as well as marketplaces for empty capacity, which are not attractive for shippers because of poor prices and trust issues. We are a very strong team. I am a serial entrepreneur with previous exit to VMware. We have a business-to-business saleswoman and 2 programmers with 20 years experience and knowledge in mathematics, statistics, and transport data. And our board is staffed with industry veterans. We are currently in a pilot mode with DHL, world's largest transport company, and 2 others. We are going to have a proof of concept by early next year, after which we will raise a seed round to productize and start selling on a subscription model. We have meanwhile talked to more than 20 transport companies, which are very interested to try out the solution when it is ready. These are our initial pipeline. We are currently looking for a venture capitalist to join our seed round, which is half full. Ideally, someone who can open doors in predictive analytics as well as help us with sales channels. Thank you very much.
So you mentioned that transportation is a $2 trillion market. What I'm trying to figure out is, it seems like your optimization is making sure that these transportation companies don't ship with half-empty trucks. How do you model out how much they would pay for that and how much they would be saving if they were implementing your solution?
Well, our solution is based on predicting future volumes, so that basically they can, what they save is that ultimately they move less vehicles. So they can handle the same volume with less trucks, less planes, less ships.
And so how do you, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, if you were to find the size of your market, right, it seems like a first step would be to figure out how much money could be saved right now, which isn't $2 trillion.
Yeah,
so
other industries are saving about 15% with predictive analytics, and transport is an industry with razor-thin margins. That's why it would mean 4 times more profit for them if they save 15%. And these are companies with millions in profit already.
Just to clarify, you say basically there's 15% excess capacity, like the average truck has basically got 15% of its capacity that's not shipped.
Yeah.
If they were optimizing, they'd be able to use 15% less trucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any primary competitors in the space? I feel like there are a lot of companies that are doing similar things around. I mean, this is a huge problem, and it's a common thing that people are working on. So are there other companies that are using similar models to accomplish the same goal?
So far, I am not aware of any very direct competitors. The main reason I'm saying that is that we've talked to more than 20 transport companies, and not one time did that company say, hey, we know this company, they do the same thing. But it's a matter of time. Our strategy is basically to get as far as possible before someone else joins the race, and we're about a year ahead now.
Can you talk a little bit about... Can you talk a little bit about how you price this product, and also the secondary question? Oh, perfect.
It will be basically...
So per volume, really?
Per volume, basically, so that they can try it without spending a lot of money up front and they can pay more. But it's going to be a very expensive product because it's also a very big program, and our competitors are expensive.
Your beta customers, you've had the discussion of pay per volume with existing companies in the space, and they're willing to go there?
Yeah, some of them are going to go there, some of them will want to pay up front, basically, and then just pay maintenance. We'll figure it out. But this is our preferred model.
My second question was, once you raise this round, do you plan on focusing on Europe, staying in Bulgaria, moving to US?
Well, basically our engineering team is in Bulgaria, but our customers are in Western Europe. We're working with DHL in Bonn, with Agility Logistics in Basel, and we European Containers in Belgium. So we are already trying to be global already. We would prefer to go to the States sooner rather than later, because it's a bigger market than Europe.
So it's basically an analytics play, right? So you need people to enter data. So are you planning to have something, some kind of hardware in the trucks or in the boats or whatever in order for people to enter easily the data in your system?
We are definitely planning to use information from such devices, but basically the built-in hardware in the trucks market is very competitive, and there are very many large players already out there. So it would be better to do a partnership rather than ourselves try to go in that space. What is missing at the moment is this prediction bit, and we're going to focus on that.
So what are you going to use the seed round to fund, and how long is it going to take you to get from there into the Series A?
Well, at the moment, with our pilot customers, we are we are more or less doing experimentation and figuring out how exactly we'll do the best possible prediction. The seed round we'll use in order basically to productize this, so it becomes a product which can be sold on a subscription basis, and also to start serving some early customers and get early revenue. Once the revenue is proven, then we'll get the A round in order to start selling more massively.
What is your first customer going to have to do to integrate?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
What is your first customer going to have to do to integrate your technology?
Well, basically they will need to load their data, which is a fairly complicated process, but they are doing it right now even in the pilot. DHL are giving us 5 terabytes of data. And then basically just use the outputs. And the next level would be to calibrate the model themselves already. But even without calibration, it will produce some results already.
so much, judges.
Thank you.
Big applause for Transmetrics.
That's 4 down.
4 to go. It's quite, the bar is pretty high. I don't envy the nervosity of the next ones, but there
I
is...
think it could be fun, can't it? Pitching on stage. What do you think? Could it be fun pitching on here?
Well, the audience
That's
is...
the entrepreneurs up front here. They would all,
I mean,
think,
if the
murder
audience
to be on stage.
would
Can we
applaud
hear
that-
the startups? Startups, make some noise. It's the loudest. That's the loudest. So we've got 4 down, 4 to go. Who's up next?
Next up, we have from Germany, Berlin, Solarbrush. Give it up for Solarbrush.
Good.
A very warm welcome. I'm Reza from Solarbrush. We make robots that maintain solar farms. Now, there has been a vast increase in the installments of solar power plants on a global scale, actually. This doesn't only apply to the Middle East, but also to the Mojave Desert, where Warren Buffett just invested in a huge power plant. Now, the problem these solar panels face is dirt. Huge layers of sand and dust being blown onto the solar field, causing really disproportionate losses of up to 35% in a single month. The way this problem is being tried to be solved is manual cleaning. This is quite obviously dangerous to conduct in the Mideastern heat, and also dangerous because of this high voltage environment. Now what I did is I invented a robot that cleans those solar power plants at night. The robot has a brush mounted at the very front and a walking device behind it. Suction cups attach the device to the incline, and a very smart drive let it walk from panel to panel. That way the robot can systematically cover the whole array. Competitors picked up on my idea, but their solutions are somewhat hard to deploy. Up to 4 people are needed to lift such a device, and others even need a remote or external wiring for power supply. For that reason, customers choose Solarbrush over others. We gained traction on a global scale from major corporations that are building those power plants. Now, earlier this year, I was able to present the system to the Electricity Authority in Abu Dhabi. They have this 100 megawatt power plant. This is quite huge. If he was to choose Solarbrush over manual cleaning, he'd save 90K annually, plus additional savings because manual cleaning doesn't cause shadows on the panels anymore. To put this into perspective, more and more panels are being built in the so-called Sunbelt countries, arid and dry regions with lots and many sun hours. Next, I'm going to the Atacama Desert due to Startup Chile. There I'll test the device.
Time is up, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Give a round of applause for him.
So I didn't get to see the numbers very well in the presentation. How much money is being spent? You're saying every solar panel power plant right now has manual cleaners or has some cleaning solution.
Yes.
How much money is being spent on all of those cleaning solutions a year currently?
Well, right now the labor costs about $200 in a month in the Middle East. This number varies.
What's the total amount of money being spent in the entire world on cleaning solar panels in power plants today?
This varies. I can't give you today a number.
Just guess. What's the guess?
What's that?
Just guess.
Really millions of US dollars, but people were not aware in the past of this problem. Manufacturers of solar panels used to sell their power plants to be free of maintenance. People are only become aware of the problem just the past years.
I guess my challenge is, how can this be a billion-dollar company if people are only spending millions of dollars today cleaning these huge solar power plants?
Well, if they don't maintain their plants, if they don't keep them clean, they lose money big time. Now, with Solarbrush, I fasten the cleaning process. Therefore, less people are needed to clean the power plants, leading to these savings to the operator of the plant.
I understand the efficiencies, and I understand being able to replace humans. What I don't understand is the scale, right? Like if basically what you're saying is you can produce something that's better than humans, that's great, but if they're not paying humans very much to do this cleaning, they're not going to pay you very much to replace them.
Well, we are competitive to manual labor for sure, because one man can deploy up to 8 units. A single unit is 2K, costs 2,000 US dollars, and this leads to the savings. So for the operator, he will break even in using Solarbrush after 2.5 years.
What's the lifetime for these solar panels?
Well, the manufacturers, again, they vary in what they, the way they sell them, but currently you would guess about 20 years.
And there's probably quite a few that are going to run down in the next 5 to 10 years then. It strikes me that your competitors are actually other robotics companies that are doing solar panel production rather than solar panel cleaning.
Well, you sell the electricity or you put it into the grid. You want really to maintain the maximum output. Otherwise, it will take way longer for the investment to amortize.
But why wouldn't you just upgrade to a system that is far more efficient, like Cubotics or Sun Synchrony?
Well, Cubotics, they adjust, this is a tracking system. Their solar panels will also gather that. You need to keep them clean to proper operate them. Even if you have more efficient systems like solar tower technology or tracking systems, the panel where if the solar cell doesn't get enough photons from the sunlight, it won't be able to produce enough energy.
Well, the systems I'm thinking about, I mean, they're changing the paradigm from the flat panel. So your product wouldn't be able to clean them, but they would be delivering a far more efficient solar panel. So as a company, a large company, I look at this and I think there's a limited lifetime for your product before I'd replace with something that was not compatible.
Talking about lifetime, we use standardized components, norm parts from mechanical engineering, actually from automotive. That way we make a durable product. And again, the solar concentric technology you're probably talking about, the prices for solar cells have been dropping. So they are somewhat substituting the concentric on the one side, and the other technology you saw in the second picture is the flat mirror technology. These are used more common now than the cycled concentric modules.
Do you have an estimated mean time between failure for these products? For your product?
Excuse me?
The time between failure of your robot?
We want to maintain the robot for 5 years. Again, we use standardized components to what is warranty parts are the brush, suction cups, and the battery. These are standardized components redundantly available on a global market.
Give it up for Solarbrush!
Thank you very much, Solarbrush.
Thanks a million. So, that was that. 5 down, 3 to go.
We have some domestic blood coming up on stage next from Salzburg.
Right. From Salzburg, Austria, if you don't know. From Austria, in Salzburg, that's where they're based, we've got Symptoma. Make some noise for Jamanateki.
I'm fine, yeah?
It's all yours.
It's awesome to be here and to pitch in front of you all. My name is Jaman Ateki. I'm a medical doctor and founder of Symptoma. Symptoma is a search engine for diseases. The problem we are addressing is huge for all of us. 1 in 7 diagnoses is wrong. Each year, 1.5 million lives could be saved with the right diagnosis. So what's the cause of misdiagnosis? It's misinformation. Physicians have to consider more than 20,000 diseases at once, more than they can handle. So what can we do about it? The medical knowledge has already been published, but it's really hard to retrieve the data. You could go to a specialist, but they are specialized on few diseases. You could also try to memorize all 20,000 diseases with their symptoms, risk factors, and statistics. Good luck with that. And there are already great approaches out there. Companies have tried to establish symptom search engines. The problem is the databases are far too small, and the results are sorted by the alphabet, so there's no help here. We have developed Symptoma, a search engine for diseases. The physicians enter symptoms, birth year, and sex, and they receive a list of matching causes. And our lists are sorted by the probability for the specific patient. This is hard technology. We have spent 5 years on research and development, and now we have one of the biggest and most complex databases with over 20,000 diseases and millions of connections to symptoms, risk factors, and statistics. We have a powerful and sophisticated algorithm which delivers the results in a smart way. This is what makes Symptoma so special. Physicians pay 25 euros per month in order to use Symptoma online. And let me stress, it's for physicians only. We have more than 1,000 early adopters, 8 million more to go. Our market potential is substantial, and we are opening up the English-speaking markets first, and we focus on pediatricians. They have the highest demand for diagnostic information. We are a team that is experienced. Thomas and I are working together since 11 years now, and we have already accomplished to establish one of the biggest educational platforms ever, and we have so far reached more than 300 million visitors. Our company has been operating at a profit since beginning, and we are multiplying our revenues on a yearly basis. Now, we are looking for partners and investors to support our growth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Symptoma. I'm very much looking forward to your challenging questions now.
So let me preface this by saying I am not at all an expert in your space, but I do know my favorite Jeopardy-winning computer, Watson, is going after this space. And Watson's pretty smart, so how do you expect to compete with him or it?
Yeah, Watson team, if you're watching this, this is how this gets done. We have already accomplished it. And companies have searching for it since the 1970s. They have tried to accomplish this kind of symptom search engines. And Watson has, of course, a lot of money. And still, I think I don't know whether they are out there already and they have a product like this, but I'm not sure about it. They have all of this media and so on, and so you know about them. But I don't know whether they have a symptom search engine. So I don't fear the competition here.
Are you planning to move into the United States market at all?
As I said, we are opening up the English-speaking markets first. So it's the US, it's Canada, it's Australia, it's UK. And then we can translate our database, and so we can scale our success to every language.
So how are you dealing with all of the regulatory structures and with the liability issues, and also with getting through all of the bureaucracies? You know, who is actually the customer, and is that customer allowed to purchase? Like, I don't see many doctors in the States kind of having permission.
Excellent questions. Think of Symptoma as a reference book. You can't hold a reference book reliable liable for diagnosis the doctor makes. Of course, it has a mighty search engine behind it, but still it's a reference book. So the legal issues, I don't see it right now. The other thing is regarding the paying customers. Our paying customers are the physicians, and later maybe also the hospitals. And the status quo we are competing with is physicians are paying for databases with articles which are updated, and they're paying more than for Symptoma right now. But there the search engine functionality is just a full-text search, and they have to skim through large articles, and especially for foreigners, it's hard to read a text in English, which is a specialist text. So we are competing here also with an advantage.
So there's this book that I think most medical students have to buy called the Physician's Desk Reference. Is that right? Maybe that's just a US thing. It's a huge book. It's like super expensive, right? It like lists all the diseases and all the drugs that you can take.
Yeah, so this is really special that because before we started with building up Symptoma, we thought it's easy, just like combining symptoms and diseases, right? But it wasn't easy. So this is why companies have failed since the 1970s. The reason why is there's no complete list of all diseases. There are classifications, but they are summing up like a couple of diseases. So there's no list of that. Then you have synonyms and different words for the same diseases. And then you have to combine the symptoms, which is really hard as well, because they have different names as well. And you have like classifications. You can have like back pain and lumbago as well. And lumbago is like just a special back pain. And so you need the semantic connection between all those symptoms as well in order to have a high recall. And this was really challenging, I can tell you.
How big is the market for reference books?
Yeah, it's $1 billion. For digital ones, it's a $1 billion market right now per year, and it's and if you take all like the reference books, it's a $10 billion market. But look at the bigger picture here. The healthcare system costs like 7 to 13% of the gross domestic product. So the main driver in this system is to actually push the costs down while increasing the quality. And this is what Symptoma does.
Well, the judges seem happy. Are we happy, pioneers?
Thank you. Thank you.
Symptoma.
Wow, the bar is really high. Seems like all of these guys practice all night because they end just at the second of the 3 minutes.
He's polite, isn't he? He actually says goodbye to the judges. The other ones just like walk by. It's the Austrian school, isn't it?
All right, who do we have next up on deck?
Oh, I thought you wanted to announce them.
Oh, you.
Oh, did you just
It's your
decide
turn.
that?
It's your turn.
She's charming, isn't it? So, next up, from Croatia, Zagreb to be precise, Urška Zvezdan from and BabyWatch.
Woo!
There you go. Give you a timer.
Yeah.
Clicker. Are you good?
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Urška, and I'm here to reassure you that it doesn't matter who you are or how successful you are. Back then, each and every one of you was a star, a life-changing event. Because pregnancy is one of the most emotional, extraordinary events in your life. But we all know that every big event also comes with great stress. And what do our moms do now when they're stressed? They go out and they spend 66 billion on pregnancy-related products. And they each spend up to $50,000 on prenatal care, with at each extra examination they take scaling up to $600. And on top of that, 70% of them spends at least 3 hours per day searching pregnancy-related topics or medical advice on the internet. When they can't answer the real question like that, how do I know that everything is okay inside? My mom is one of the leading obstetricians gynecologists in the region, and with her, we developed a pregnancy monitoring system to help doctors. But then we realized we first need to engage the patients. We need to equip every pregnant woman with an accessible pregnancy monitoring system. And that's why we developed BabyWatch. BabyWatch is a system consisting of a small ultrasound device and a mobile app which enables pregnant moms to hear and visualize their unborn baby's heartbeat. That means they can check up on their baby anytime, anywhere. BabyWatch ultrasound device is a small, quantified sound device which has been FDA and CE approved. And we've made it finally possible for you to share those special emotions with your loved ones. And let me tell you, there are other pregnancy apps on the market. But you know what? This is not an era of software anymore. But neither it is of clunky, expensive hardware. It's an era of sophisticated device software systems which are transforming the way we take care of our health into an understandable, interactive experience. And that's why we're taking it a step further. We're launching GlobalBit platform where pregnant women will be able to upload pregnancy tracking data and receive good medical advice. GlobalBit platform is the first step towards professional remote patient monitoring system connecting community of pregnant women with professional care providers. I'm really happy to be backed by this amazing team with previous experience in healthcare startups and a growing board of awesome advisors. Selling our device over the internet has generated a revenue of $100,000 last month. But besides e-commerce, we are focusing on building partnerships in retail, which will bring us a revenue of almost...
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'm cheating because I know, we've talked before, and I know a lot about you guys. But talk a little bit about the device itself and FDA approval, because we all know that kind of sucks.
OK, so our device already has the FDA approval. We are producing it with a very known manufacturer of medical equipment. They also produce other prenatal products, so sonographs, 3D, 4D ultrasound machines. So that was quite easy to get then, yeah.
But if you want to make changes, you have to go back to the original manufacturer.
So when we get an investment, a part of it we would use for changing the product design. And we have already been to our manufacturer, established a really good partnership relationship for basically producing a whole new device for next year.
So how many devices are out there now, and how are you integrating feedback from the people that are using it?
OK, so there are other home fetal Dopplers on the market, but for now, these are very clunky, hard-to-use hardware devices which don't provide much information-wise or educational-wise.
She's asking how many of your products are out there right now.
Sorry. Sorry. So we have 2,000 paying customers. 2,000 paying customers. On top of that, 1,000 people have downloaded the app without buying the device only. And we have gotten some massive orders from retailers from Mexico, Australia, India, Turkey, and Texas already. So
let me understand, at the moment you use the device only occasionally. Are you getting a sense that there's a market for actually turning this into a fashion garment that is doing continuous monitoring?
So there's this whole thing now with we're a new generation who likes to share a lot, but not share just information, but also emotions. So this is something which will enable future moms to share this expectation with people who are involved in baby's life from day one, but can't be involved physically into pregnancy. So if you call it a fashion, maybe it's just a new trend or the new way we communicate now.
What's the biggest challenge you guys face right now?
Right now, the biggest challenge is huge orders, which is a sweet challenge.
Can you elaborate a little bit more? Why are you having trouble processing your huge orders?
The only thing that we're missing now is basically an investment to build inventory. So we're looking for working capital.
And why is your pre-order money not enough to fulfill your orders?
So it is partially, but we are getting so much demand that we would like to really establish a good inventory with which we can work easily then from there on.
And how many pre-orders did you do again?
Sorry?
How many pre-orders have you done so far?
It's not pre-orders. We already sold the devices, already delivered them. We got pre-orders for orders, not pre-orders for retail.
And are you still selling these devices on your site currently?
Yeah.
And how many do you sell a month?
A month, last month we sold over 1,000 devices. So we only launched in July with Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. We closed it successfully. Then we started selling on our website in September, sold 500 units right after launch. Yeah. And then last month it grew over 1,000 and it's growing, growing, growing.
If I were to order one of these today, how long would I have to wait to get one for my very pregnant belly?
For your, well, you don't have a beer belly, but for your belly, it would take, because you're from the States, about a week, up to 2 weeks. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the unit economics, so the bill of material, retail price, and the margin you hope to get from this at scale? Not right now, but 2 years from now.
Well, I've been talking about this at the selection pitch, but since this is a live stream, I can't really give away some exact information, but I can only say that our investors will really like the margin.
Any last, like, 3-second question?
No such thing.
Nope. Everybody's happy.
Thank you.
Make some noise for her.
Last but not least, from Hamburg, Germany, Philipp Baumgartel with Protonet.
Make some noise for Protonet! What's up? All right, timer. You got your clicker.
All right.
You good?
Guess so, yeah.
Take it away.
All right, so hi, my name is Philip from Protonet, and would like to share a thought with you. We believe that the future of the cloud is going to be distributed. I'm going to tell you why. Oh, okay. So when small companies set up their business, they have two problems. The first one is they have different cloud tools that don't work together and they don't have any data control. The second one is the hardware they're using is very complex, they cannot maintain it themselves, and it's very expensive. So we came up with a solution, which is this box, the Protonet box. It runs an operating system that lets you communicate, share files, manage tasks, projects, calendars, contacts, anything just like you know it from the cloud, and just as easy. But it runs on this box. It's a highly performant server processor with massive amounts of storage, patent-approved passive cooling mechanism, but what is most important, it only has one button. One button, so anybody in this room here can set up his company IT infrastructure without any IT knowledge. So, we've talked about the product, let's talk about the business. We're selling this to small companies. We've sold about 160 so far. Next year, we're going to see a light version of this to meet smaller budgets. But what we're actually trying to do in the future is we're going to take our operating system and put it on lots of other devices. So we can become the operating system of a distributed cloud. We've got a great team doing this, 23 people, highly skilled, with all the skills we need to have success in our business. So where are we now? We've got a product. It's selling. We've got a good team. We raised some investment. And now we're looking for growth money. That's you guys. And we're looking for a long-term relationship. And we're looking for people who are able to attach to our vision. And I'm going to tell you more about that vision. Think back in the past, when mainframes were the only source of computing power, and there was only a small group of people controlling this power. And then somebody came and introduced the personal computer. And they brought computing power to the homes of millions of people. And if you look at the state of the cloud, it's owned and controlled by big companies and governments. So we think it's time for something that we call the personal server, a small device in a big network of devices. And those devices, They're able to talk to each other. They're able to share resources. And what's going to happen is, you guys, you and you and you and everybody in this room, you will become the owner of the infrastructure of the internet. And no big company is going to be able to sell your data. No NSA is going to be able to spy on your data. And it's going to take lots of magic and lots of hard work, but it's not going to be magic. It's just going to be an epic future technology. We believe in the future of the distributed cloud, and this is what it's going to look like. Thanks.
That's it. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah. Get biased. Judges are yours.
Yes, please.
How do you compare to Meraki?
To what?
Meraki? Have you heard of that before?
Yeah. It is like the thought is some kind of like something similar. What we are actually trying to do is our main approach is to make it very, very, very simple, right? So who in this room knows how to set up a server? Do you enjoy doing this? All right. Good. All right. So of course, there's some comparisons to Meraki, etc. I don't know the whole history of Meraki. I'm sorry, but I think that the advancement of technology and how technology has become also available for people and for customers and companies, we're in a time where we have more opportunities because every year technology is becoming more and more easy for people to do so. So we just have maybe met a better timing or so.
So I've set up 2 companies in the last 7 years, and I've had to walk into an office with nothing, set things up. It sounds like I'd be your customer. Is that correct? It sounds like I would be one of your potential customers. Is that correct?
Might be, yeah.
Okay. So I had to set up email, calendar, document creation, document sharing.
Yeah. Well, we're working on email. We're not at email yet, but it's going to...
Okay, great. So what I did was I went to Google Apps, and in about 20 minutes, I was done.
Okay, this takes 3 minutes.
But this doesn't exist yet. Let's be clear, right? Like, this doesn't exist yet, and Google Apps cost me... But
we're selling this product.
It does calendar, it does document sharing and document creating, and...
Well, it doesn't do document creating yet, but we're working on document creating.
So what I'm trying to say is that basically I could go on my computer and not have to buy anything, not have to wait.
Yes.
And I could do that all with Google Apps. I don't understand why there needs to be a hardware solution when Google provides a perfectly capable software solution.
Well, of course, it's something that doesn't have to be for everybody.
But who is it for?
It is for companies who want to own the data, because there's lots, especially with all the NSA stuff and things. I mean, we had so many inquiries on our product that we had to extend our distribution time from 2 to 10 weeks, And we see that there's a massive demand of a product like this.
So you think there are a lot of small businesses who care about owning their own data? Like who care about the NSA snooping in on their... I mean, can you give me an example? Can you give me an example of some verticals where they...
Say that again?
Can you give me an example of the verticals where you think you'd be able to attack this the hardest? The most NSA-afraid verticals?
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say it's like... I don't think it's NSA-afraid verticals. So about 65% of the companies we're selling this to, they have their value creation in the service. So it happens in the head. For example, agencies, marketing agencies. They write stuff, they have lots of projects, they want to share stuff, they want to store stuff. Because most of the companies actually have some hardware in their office. They have a NAS or they have a Synology or something. But the problem is, if you're the CEO of your company, right? And somebody comes in your room and sets up your NAS, and the next day it doesn't work. You'll have to pay him to come back to your office to make it work again. And it might happen next week, and next month, and so on. And this is just something that just works.
So, I have 2 questions actually. One, other than simplicity and privacy, how do you compare on performance and cost versus existing cloud solutions?
Okay, this cost, the smallest version is at 3,300 euros. You can also get it for $80 a month if you want to finance it, of course. And if you compare it, for example, if you take Dropbox, you got a Basecamp, plus you get a NAS, yeah, right? You get somebody that has a NAS, you get a NAS, you get somebody who installs it, you're at about $1,500. You have a team with, say, 10 people, a Dropbox Enterprise account, which costs you 1,200 euros a year. So you're already almost at the price you have for the whole, for your 2 services, and it's only 2 services. You still need a communication infrastructure, you still need a project management infrastructure.
So I understand the cost piece. Now on performance, you're basically tackling head-on all these services. You're going to introduce your own services to compete with them, essentially.
Well, we have a basic feature set that we develop ourselves, of course.
Won't it always be a basic feature set in comparison to those players that are very focused on their own game?
That's true. But Service Digest, people only use about 20% of what the actual service provides. So we just focus on the best stuff and try to make it the best way it works as possible.
Protonet!
Thanks. Thanks.
So, pioneers, what do we think about top 8? Were they okay? Were they okay, pioneers? Goody.
Thanks.
So, what are we up to now? That's been quite long. That's been quite exciting. Now it's time to have a short break.
We need to let the judges deliberate, and during that time, we can go and get some refreshments.
And while you do that, you do have the chance to win some great Konica products and some Apple iPhone 5Ss. And all you need to do is tell them what you want from a multifunctional printer. So make sure to check it out. That's the guys in blue. Be sure to be back here at 6:10. See you soon. Take care, pioneers.